This video will walk you through finding and attaching the CGCC outcomes to a rubric. For this step, you should have already imported the account level General Education Student Learning Outcome Indicators and course competencies into your Canvas course. The first part of this video will show you quickly how to get the outcomes onto a Canvas rubric. Following that will be a discussion of the options for using rubrics with outcomes attached for assessment at CGCC. As a reminder, we will use the word outcomes synonymously with both the indicators of general education student learning outcomes and course competencies. Canvas has a direct path to rubrics on the main course navigation named Rubrics. Once you are there, you will see any rubrics you have created in your course, and you have the ability to add a new rubric. If you are adding outcomes to a rubric already in your course, you will click on the name of the rubric, then edit Rubric using the pencil icon on the right. And if you are adding a new rubric, you will select the Add Rubric button. From there, the process is the same. You will select Find Outcomes at the bottom of the rubric to pull up the outcome window. If you do not see the outcomes that you are assessing, then you need to go back and import them first. Select the outcome you wish to add to the rubric. Before advancing, decide whether you would like to use this outcome for scoring. I default to No by unchecking the box in the middle that says Use this criterion for scoring. Then scroll down to select Import. Repeat this process until all outcomes you wish to assess on this rubric are attached. Take a look at the rubric. Notice that if you uncheck the box to use the criterion for scoring, the current total points for the rubric does not take into account the outcome criterions, even though they have points associated with them. If the outcomes are attributing to the score, then you likely did not uncheck the box when attaching the outcome. So trash that outcome and add it again. Then, if there are empty criterion, like this one worth 5 points, use the trash can to delete that row. Also, if you do not like the order of your criterions or outcomes, the only way to rearrange the rows is through deleting and re-adding criterion. Give the rubric a title and choose to create the rubric or update the rubric if you were editing one. Now that you have the rubric, you can add it to Canvas activities such as graded discussions, quizzes, or assignments. Keep in mind that you do not actually have to use Canvas to collect the assessment or the submission, but you do need to use Canvas to collect the data. So you have to attach this rubric to some sort of Canvas activity in order to score it to transmit the data. You can use this rubric on as many activities that you feel align with your indicators and course competencies. The more measures of learning assessed, the more reliable the assessment becomes. I'm going to switch gears here and talk about what is missing in this outcome-only rubric. You've probably noticed that the only description for the outcomes is the definition of the outcome found in the link that says View Longer Description. Typical analytic rubric would further define the levels of mastery for those criterions, or outcomes in our case. Some instructors have chosen to have this analytic rubric separate from Canvas, like in this case. But you may also choose to add those descriptors to this Canvas rubric as rows. One way to do this would be to set up the rubric so that it has descriptive criterion row, then an outcome, used for data collection on the row above or below it, as in this biology example. Still, other instructors have built an analytic rubric and already use it for their scoring. In this case, simply adding the outcomes to the bottom of that rubric may be beneficial because the student's performance on the assignment overall could reflect the level of mastery on the general education student learning outcomes and course competencies being assessed. Watch the tutorial on building a rubric in Canvas for more help with adding criterion. We hope this video helps. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the CTLA channel.